The wedding photographer loses pictures and then lies to the client.
Every day I wake up on my Sunday. Wow.
So what we're going to do today, and what we're going to do today is actually kind of related to my problems. And I figured that maybe, you know, what I'm going to do today will probably help some of you other photographers out there that happen to run into the same problem, or maybe was wondering, how to handle these type of problems. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing today is a reaction. This is a video that I watched a couple of years ago. I don't know how old this video is. It's from Jessica Kobisi. She at one time she was doing a lot of Reddit reactions and stuff like that. So she had a lot of information where she talked about different problems photographers had when they did different client shoots and stuff like that. And this one right here, kind of this past week, actually it's been longer than this past week. It's kind of something that kind of fits right in with something that has been going on with me. Now, what this video is, the title of this video is "The Wedding Photographer Loses Pictures and Then Lies to the Client." All right, so this video that I'm going to be reacting to today is by Jessica Kobisi, and the title of the video is "Wedding Photographer Loses Pictures, Then Lies to the Client." This is something that is a big, I don't know what word to use in this situation, but it's something that is a big concern of mine because as photographers, we do a lot of stuff on computers. We do a lot of stuff with files, where to store them, where to back them up, and all of this kind of stuff. And if you've been working with computers for any amount of time, you know that things happen. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. You never know when they're going to happen. You got to try to make sure you have procedures and stuff in place so that when those things do happen, you're covered. Now, this is a reaction. This is a video that I thought was pretty interesting. It was pretty much the wrong way to deal with something if something happens. Before we get it started into this video, and I'm going to tell you about my situation too as we go along. I'm going to be reacting to the video and talking about the things that she's talking about in this story. And I'm going to let you know what happened to me and how this video, the reason why this pertains to me. And the reason why I'm doing a reaction, actually, I've been wanting to do reactions for a while. I got a couple of videos that, a couple of photography-based videos that I wanted to react to. All right, before we get started, make sure you go down on the bottom of the screen there and click the like button. Go ahead and run these likes up, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. I generally show a lot of videos based on photo shoots I've done, behind the scenes footage, showing images of pictures that I've taken in photo shoots, stuff like that. And now I'm adding reaction videos because I got several of them that I want to do coming up. I'm going to start adding that to some of the things you'll see on this channel also. And we're going to get into this reaction. Let's get started right now.
Today I'm reacting to a Reddit post where the wedding photographer told her clients after 4 months that she lost all of their photos. Yikes. Okay, we definitely don't want to be in that position. That's like my worst nightmare as a photographer. This Reddit post is actually from 2 years ago, but I thought it could be interesting to kind of go back and revisit it for the first time. Are you revisiting something that you've never been to? Then yeah, I'm just going to be visiting it. Wedding photographer has been giving us the runaround for 4 months and informed us today that she lost all our images. I am in West Virginia.
Now you see that 4 months, photographer had the images for 4 months and then just told them that they lost all of the images. That is, I don't know, it's a long time to wait before you tell somebody you lost all of the images. But I can understand the hesitation. I don't excuse it. I mean, you lose all of it. You do a wedding shoot and you lose all of the images. It's probably hard to go back to that person and be like, yo, I lost all your images, but you have to do it. A situation like that where you lost all of the images, you have to do it. You can't just let them wait for 4 months and then tell them, because you're going to tell them anyway. You know what I'm saying? If there's no way for you to get the images back, you have to tell them you lost the images. So don't wait 4 months to do it. The sooner, the better. They're not going to like it. They're going to be angry with you regardless, whether you do it earlier or later, but later is just going to make it that much worse. All right, let's get it going.
on earth can I do? My wife is devastated. The photographer has lied and made excuses every couple of weeks with moving deadlines, and I sent it last week. You didn't get them? No, she's not doing that. Okay, I think that's worse, to lie and insult your client's intelligence by saying, oh no, I sent them, you didn't get them, when you really didn't. I think that just makes it worse. We received our sneak peek, which was only like 25 pictures, but it didn't include any pictures of the bride and her family. I understand a refund is given even though she has not offered it. She offered a free family shoot. Get the F out of here. Is there legal recourse on getting more than our refund back due to the impact this will cause and the fact that we will never have pictures of our wedding day? Wait, I'm confused. They said they received their sneak peek, which was only 25 pictures, but it didn't include the pictures of the... So did she... What? So if she sent the sneak peek, she sent 25 pictures. So does that mean she has some pictures?
When it comes to sneak peeks and stuff like that, generally when I do a client shoot, regardless of what type of shoot it is, whether it's a model shoot or some kind of event or just a regular photo shoot or a wedding or something like that, what I generally try to do is within the first day or maybe the next day, I try to get a couple of images, like edit it. You know what I'm saying? Because especially a wedding, wedding, you can have hundreds of images that you end up having to send, and it could take a while. Sometimes weddings, depending on how large the wedding is and how many images that you've taken, sometimes it could be 30 days, before they get their images back. And I don't want them to really wait 30 days before they see anything. You know what I'm saying? They spend a lot of money on weddings. I don't want them to wait a whole 30 days, a month, or however long. Sometimes for regular shoots, it may be a week or 2 weeks or something like that, 3 weeks. But for a wedding, it tends to be a little bit longer, and I wouldn't want them to wait a whole 30 days before they see anything, so usually the first night right after the wedding, if it's not too late or if I don't have too much going on, or the next day, I try to get some images edited and sent over to them as sneak peeks so they can look. It may not be my final edits. It'll be some that I'll do. I'll try to do it the same way that I'll do all of the images, but sometimes when I sit down to do the rest of the edits, I may go a different route when it comes to the editing and stuff like that. But I try to get them something that looks really nice, that will be representative of what they can expect. Um, and I'll send it to them. For a wedding, 25 images seem like a lot, but you never know. They may have 800 images. You know what I'm saying? Depends on how long the wedding was. They may have 800 images or 500 images or something like that. In that situation, 25 may not be that much for a sneak peek, but 25 is still a lot of images. At this point, the client, the bride and groom, they don't know that the images have been lost, and they probably haven't been lost yet, being that they got the 25 images. But let's see what else happens.
Pictures, but not all of them? I'm kind of confused. And then she offered a free family shoot. Girl, you're gonna have to do more than the family shoot. You're gonna have to do the family for like 20 generations at this point. She's like, I'll do one free baby picture. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's okay. It's good that she offered something, but it's you need, for like losing wedding pictures, not only do you have to give a full refund, you have to...
Hold up. Did they offer those things before the 4 months, or is she jumping back and forth with the story? Like, did they offer the free family shoot and stuff like that before, after they told her that the weddings was lost? Let me go back a little bit and see what they say.
Some pictures, but not all of them. And then she offered a free family shoot. Definitely offer maybe a couple session or a redo that is the equivalent to that, to the value of the wedding. I mean, they're never gonna get those pictures back. So yeah, okay, let's keep reading here. Even the refund is going to have to go to court, I feel. The photographer made sure to mention in the apology message that she is working 3 jobs and falling behind just to make ends meet. Wait, so is she not giving the refund back? Because this person's saying even the refund is going to have to go to court. Why? If it were me, I'd literally give the refund back. I would pay you the money. I'd be like, here, you know what? Here's the money. You have it. That's what I would do. I'd be crying my eyes out if I lost someone's pictures. I'd be crying for days. Oh, it says she has not offered the refund. Why not? Why wouldn't she offer? That's the first thing that you do. Hey, I'm so sorry that I messed up, because she did. She did. She made a mistake. She messed up. Here's a full refund. But this person saying that she's not offered it yet. Okay, let's read the rest of this. I guess there was an edit.
Yeah, that's where is kind of funny because weddings, you could spend a lot of money on a wedding. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, their weddings, wedding packages may start in the thousands, 1,500, 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, stuff like that. And they can go way up over, $5,000, $6,000, depending on how long the wedding is, how many people are going to be there, if you had to hire a second shooter, anything like that. It's tough, but I kind of feel like in this situation, you have to offer a full refund. There's no getting around it really, and it's going to be tough because depending on where you are in your photography career, some of that money may be spent. You know what I'm saying? It's just hurt. It just hurts, but you have to do it. You can't just be like, I lost your pictures. I'll give you one baby shoot. You can't do that. You have to offer a refund. I would say you have to offer a refund and maybe another photo shoot. You know what I'm saying? Another type of redo type shoot. I don't know how much of a redo you could do in this situation, but I would say you have to offer both as a minimum, a full refund and some type of redo photo shoot type option. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's bad. If this happens, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? But but I'll take it right now, and I'll give you a little bit of an idea of what I have going on, what's going on with me right now. Okay, so when it comes to backing up photos, and I'm gonna tell you this because one thing about me, I haven't talked about it a lot, is that I've worked in IT for over 20 years. I got a lot of experience working in IT systems, managing computer systems for companies and stuff like that. Support, all kinds of stuff, networking, system admin, and all that kind of stuff. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I've held positions of like system technicians. I've been IT managers. I've been a director of IT. I've been Microsoft engineer. I've been system network administrator. I've held all kinds of positions. I got a lot of experience with IT. That one thing helps me out when it comes to photography. It's not a direct relation as far as how good you are as far as your IT skills and when it comes to taking photos and stuff like that. But the back end part of it, it helps a lot when it comes to this kind of stuff, managing your storage, managing your coming up with a plan for how you're going to back up stuff. Even with using different software, I'm able to pick up stuff a little bit faster because being that I've been in around all different types of software for most of my adult life, it doesn't take long to learn something new because if you use one software, you notice that a lot of software use the same type of language as far as it's you. You may still have to learn how to use the software, but it's a little bit easier when you already know that to do this specific thing in most software, you got to go to this spot to do it, and there's like a language that's kind of universal with a lot of different software products. On the Windows side, on the Mac side, it's a little bit different. It's still there, but it's a little bit different. Um, um, so when it comes to that, one thing that I wanted to make sure never happens to me, and I'm gonna knock on some wood right now. One thing I wanted to make sure never happens to me is a situation like this. Never lost client photos, but I have lost items that I wanted to do. I've lost video footage that I wanted to use to make YouTube videos. I've lost stuff like that. Now that stuff, I mean, it's a big deal to me because it made it so that I can't create the YouTube video that I wanted. Um, but it's not a client thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to run down how I do my storage. And then I'm going to tell you where I failed as far as this. And I'll tell you what happened along the way that happened really recently, which brought me to this video, to revisiting this video that I saw a couple years ago. So first I'll tell you what happened to me. Okay, so this past weekend I had a photo shoot. I had a prom photo shoot I get home and I'm going to do the sneak peek images. I probably I took a couple hundred pictures, but I was going to do a sneak peek, do some sneak peek images, figured out, edit about a good six, seven, eight of them, nice edits, give them a representation of what to expect when the final photos are delivered. So I get home and what I normally do when I get home is I take my memory card out of my computer, out of my camera. I plug it into my laptop. And I'm going to show you my setup right now before we go any further about I um how I got this set up. Let me set it up here on the screen right quick and then I'll show you my setup here or a representation, a diagram of my setup. All right. So here we have on my screen here is just a whiteboard. So I'm going to show you how I have everything set up. Okay, so first things first. The first thing I have is I have my laptop. This is my laptop. And that's where I do the bulk of my editing on. Okay, so another thing that I have is a NAS, which is a network attached storage device. Now, this device, the one I had it for years. I've had it way too long. I need to replace it. Now, this particular device has several hard drives in it, and the hard drives are set up in an arrayed configuration. And what a RAID configuration means is that without going too much in detail, there's multiple hard drives in the device, and I'll put a link to the one that I have in the description if you want to look into it, getting one for yourself if you don't have anything like this. But there's multiple hard drives in the device, and the hard drives are set up in a RAID. And what happens is, like, let's say there's 4 hard drives in the device. Well, if one of the hard drives go bad, you don't lose all your information because the information is stored. It takes all 4 of the hard drives and kind of integrate them together and put bits and pieces on each hard drive every time you copy a file to it. So if you lose one hard drive, all you have to do is take the bad hard drive out, buy a new one, and put it back in there. Then the rest of the hard drives will have enough information to rebuild the new hard drive and put everything back to how you had it. So you don't, it's like it makes it so you don't really lose like data if one of the hard drives go bad. Now, if all 4 of them go bad at the same time, you're out of luck. If one go bad or 2 go bad, you may be okay. So I have my laptop and I have my NAS. So what happens? When I come home, I take my SD card out of my camera and I plug it into my laptop. So small USB drive, 2 TB or 4 TB or whichever one I use. Usually, after you've been doing it for a while, you end up with more than one, um, as you'll fill one up and then you end up buying another one. So that'll be my USB drive, and that connects to the laptop. So what happens is I put the card in the laptop. I'll copy everything from the SD card to the USB drive. Now, once I do that, they will automatically get backed up to that. So now I have USB drive and I have of the files on my NAS. So I have them in 2 places. Now, the rule of thumb, some people say put them in 2 places. That's not really the rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is you need to have 2 local backups and an offsite backup. And that's the bare minimum of what you have to feel like you're fully secured as far as your backup is concerned. So what I also have is I have storage. Right now, I'm just using Google Drive. Google Drive works for me. I pay to have several terabytes. I pay a monthly fee to have several terabytes. Once I'm done, I have a copy on a USB drive, I have a copy on a NAS, and I have a copy on the cloud. And the reason why this configuration works is because if you got 2 local drives, if one of them fail, let's say your USB drive fail, which is what happens to me this past weekend, and I'm going to get into that. Now, if your USB drive fails, you still have it on your NAS. So you still got another local, drive where you can buy a new USB drive and then bring over your files from your NAS that you have backed up there. So That a lot of times people think that that's enough, but what if something else happens? What if your house burned down? Somebody breaks into your house. Now both of those items are gone because they're both in the same location. But if you got the cloud version, you still have that. So you still have another place down if something happened to both of the ones in the house. So at the bare minimum, you should have three: two local, two local backup, two local copies, and a copy that's offsite. Now, the offsite copy doesn't have to be a cloud. I know I've worked for companies where what they would do is they would back up, they would have their local backups, their two local backups, and then they would have another backup that would go onto another hard drive, and that hard drive would be taken to another location. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a problem at the location, at the one at the main location, and you lose everything, let's say the place catches on fire and the whole server room burns down or something, you still can go to the other location and pick your other get your other backup. So I would say a safe bet, just starting out, would be something like this for you. Two local locations, which would be, and it doesn't have to be a NAS. It could be a different computer. You know what I'm saying? Now, the computer that you connect your USB drive to, that's one location. If you have it on the USB drive and on the laptop that the USB drive is plugged into, that's one. You don't count that as two. You count that as one. Um, but if you have it in two local copies, and then you have a third off-site copy, which everybody uses: Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, something like that. You should be pretty good. So now, what happened with me? Okay, so with me, I got back from my prom photo shoot, and I get home and I copied all of the files to my hard drive like I normally do, and I start editing photos. I went through and I culled all of the ones that I figured that I was going to look through, because I took, I usually take a lot more photos than I actually edit. So I go through and I use this. So I use Photo Mechanic, and I'll go through and I'll look through each ones, and I'll, rate the ones that I'm going to keep, and then I'll I'll import all of the ones that I'm going to keep into Lightroom, which is on my laptop, and I'll start editing. So that's what I did. I culled all of the ones that I was going to keep, imported them into Lightroom, and then I started editing the photos. I picked out that I was going to edit. They were all pretty similar, so most of them, it was like I could just edit one the way I wanted and copy the files to the other ones, because they were all in the same location, same lighting and everything like that. And I could edit one and then just copy all of the edits to all of the other ones, and maybe have to go to each one and do some straightening, or maybe brighten up pull a shadow out here and there, stuff like that. So that's what I did. I went through and I edited 6 photos. So I go to export those 6 photos, and I get an error saying that the files can't be found. So I'm messing around with it, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. The files can't be filed. So I just saved my work and I restarted my computer. And when I restarted my computer, that's when I found out that my hard drive died on me. Now, how serious it is, I don't know. All I know is that Windows won't see it, and it is asking it wants me to, it says it lost the boot record. So it wants me to reinitialize the drive, which once you do that, you still can't do anything to it until you format the drive. And then once you format the drive, of course, you lost all your stuff. So on that drive, I had a lot of stuff up there. I had pictures for probably about 6 months of photos. I had every video footage that I ever recorded for during photo shoots that I planned. Some of them I already used to make YouTube videos. Some of them I still have there because I plan on using them later on. All of that video footage is on that drive. So everything that I've been doing, like for the last 6 or so months, was on that drive. You know what I'm saying? So luckily, I had it backed up on a NAS. But this is where I failed. Okay, so I'll tell you what happened, and this is my fault. I should have been on this a little more quicker. About 2 months ago, one of my drives in my NAS died. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't been using my NAS. I haven't been backing it up to the NAS or anything like that. It's been unoperable for a while. I need to buy a new drive. I probably need to replace the NAS altogether. I need to buy a new drive. I need to do anything. So my backup while it's still on the NAS, if I get a new drive and pull it in there, it should rebuild it, and I should be able to have access to all of my files. Um, but the drive that died is the drive that has the OS for the NAS, because the NAS actually has its own OS that it runs off of. So the drive that died was the first drive, and that's the drive that had all of the information for the OS. So I need to put another drive in there. I haven't done it. I kept saying I'm gonna do it, and other things came up, and it slipped my mind. So I haven't done it. So I didn't have that. I didn't have it hasn't backed up to the NAS. So I didn't have access to the NAS to even see what was there. Um, so then I'm like, okay, good. I follow my rule. I should still have the Google Cloud. But when I was having problems with the NAS, while I was troubleshooting the NAS, I paused my sync for my Google Drive. So around the time that my NAS stopped working, I also paused the sync for my Google Drive, and I forgot to turn it back on. So for the last 2 months, it hadn't synced anything. So all of my photo shoots for the last 2 months were they're gone right now. You know what I'm saying? All of the photo shoots, all of the videos. I was actually working on a video last Saturday, that I was planning on putting out Monday, and I was editing that video, but then the drive died before I finished, and now I don't have access to that video to continue editing it, to produce it, to make a YouTube video out of it. So I'm out of luck right now, So that's why this reaction kind of works. Like I said, I've been doing IT for 20 plus years. This is a mistake that I shouldn't have allowed myself to do, but everybody, sometimes they get lax on stuff. Hard drives is something where you may never ever have a problem with a hard drive, or all of a sudden you just have problems at the worst time with one. You know what I'm saying? I've always kind of been lucky with hard drives. I haven't had many die on me. Now, I've worked in a lot of places where it happens to other people, but it just hasn't happened to me that often. Um, but luckily, I hadn't formatted my card or anything yet, so I still had all of the photos for the prom photo shoot that I did, and since then I just copied them to the laptop directly instead of to the USB drive, and I went through and edited all of them, and I've already delivered them to the client. So I didn't lose anything. I didn't lose anything that wasn't already given out already. You know what I'm saying? I didn't lose anything that anybody was waiting on. And I was lucky in that situation. So that's where I am right now. You know what I'm saying? And right now what I'm doing is I got this software that's running on the bad USB drive, trying to recover the files. The software is called Disk Drill. It's been running for a full week now. And it still says it has tons of hours left. So we'll see if that works. If that doesn't work, I'll try something else. Right now, it's not hurting me for anything except for a few YouTube videos that I wanted to produce, where the videos was on that hard drive. But and like all of the photo shoots that I've done, I give them to clients, I put them in the galleries and stuff like that, where I deliver it to the clients. So they're all still there. If I need to go back to those, I can always pull them back down from the galleries. And I downloaded what I had on Google Drive and put it on a new drive. So I'm good. And after I did that, I realized I wasn't missing as much as I thought I was, but I am missing all of the videos. So that's the part that hurts me the most, because that's the stuff I haven't used yet, planned on using.
I'ma make some and I'ma spend it. Yeah, new Jeep, no doors with it.